You think the universe is ignoring you. You think God is late. Everyone around you is getting engaged, getting married, posting my person, my forever, and you're just staring at your phone screen in the dark, wondering, why not me? What's wrong with me? What if nothing is wrong with you? What if the universe is not punishing you? It's calibrating you, like an engineer testing a rocket again and again before it's allowed to leave the ground. There is a pattern I've seen in so many lives. When a deeper love is meant to come, life doesn't send it directly. First, it sends tests, not exams to shame you, but stress tests to see if your heart, your mind, your consciousness are ready to handle what you are asking for. This is not dogma. This is not religion. This is simply how life behaves, again and again, and if you look closely, you might recognize yourself in these tests. Test 1, the loneliness test. There is a specific kind of night. You know it. The house is quiet. The city has gone to sleep. The only light in the room is the soft glow of your phone. Your chest feels heavy. Your thoughts keep circling the same questions. Am I unlovable? Am I behind? Did I miss my chance? This is the moment most people fail. Instead of sitting with the stillness, they run. They scroll. They text someone they don't really care about. They reopen conversations with people who already hurt them. They order emotional junk food to fill a spiritual hunger. This is where mindfulness is not a luxury. It's survival. The loneliness test is simple but ruthless. Can you sit with yourself without abandoning yourself? Can you feel that ache in the chest, that restlessness in the body, and simply breathe, watch your thoughts, let the waves rise and fall, without grabbing the nearest distraction? This is spiritual awakening, in its rawest form. Not lights and visions, but you alone in a room, refusing to run away from your own company. When you pass this test, something small but profound shifts. You stop treating yourself as an empty space waiting to be filled by another person. You begin to touch inner peace, not because life is perfect, but because you are learning to stay when it gets uncomfortable. Test 2, the past test. Just when you start feeling a little stronger, a little clearer, the universe opens an old door. An ex messages you out of nowhere. A person you once obsessed over suddenly likes your post. You find an old picture, an old chat, an old memory that pulls you back like a tide. Part of you smiles, part of you bleeds. Your mind whispers, maybe this is a sign. Maybe they've changed. Maybe this unfinished story is meant to restart. Be careful here. Often it's not a sign from destiny. It's a test of your pattern. The question is not, have they changed? The question is, have you healed enough to choose differently this time? Without emotional clarity, you repeat the same relationship with a different face again and again. Healing is not just crying and journaling. Healing is when the same situation appears, the same message pops up, the same temptation knocks, and you respond from a higher level of self-awareness. You remember how much anxiety that story brought. You remember the confusion, the disrespect, the way you shrank yourself just to be chosen. And instead of jumping back into the fire, you breathe. You observe. You maybe reply with kindness, or you stay silent. But this time, you don't betray yourself. This is the past test. It asks a single question. Have you learned, or do you just remember? Test 3, the energy test. We talk a lot about manifesting love, as if the universe is Amazon Prime. Click, visualize, affirm, and your soulmate arrives in 2 days. But there is another side. The universe also looks at your energy system like an engineer examines a machine. How do they treat their body? How do they treat their time? How do they speak to themselves when no one is watching? Because if your nervous system is always overloaded, if your life is full of chaos, if your days are packed with overwork, fake friendships, drained boundaries, where will love land? You say you want a conscious, kind, emotionally present partner. Fine. But are you emotionally present with yourself? Do you rest? Do you ever sit in stillness, not as a spiritual performance, but as a simple act of sanity? Or do you fill every gap with noise and hustle? Mindfulness is not only sitting on a cushion, It is how you answer your phone, how you say no, how you put your devices down at night, how you breathe when someone disappoints you. The energy test is this. Are you a black hole or a sun? A black hole pulls everything in and nothing comes out. It devours attention, time, love, but cannot give light. A sun shines by its very nature. It doesn't chase planets. Its gravity and light naturally draw in what belongs in its orbit. When you start treating your life like a sacred system to be tuned, not a dumpster to be filled, your energy shifts, and then love doesn't just happen. It recognizes you. Test 4. The ego test. This one is subtle. You might meet someone, or you might enter a space where no one is particularly impressed by your story. They don't care what you earn. They don't care how spiritual your Instagram looks. They don't worship your aesthetics, your performance, your online persona. At first it hurts. The ego tightens. Don't they know who I am? Don't they see how special I am? The universe, in that moment, is asking a hard question. Do you want to be adored, or do you want to be known? Real love is not applause. Real love is not a constant stream of validation. Real love is someone seeing your fear and not running, seeing your anger and not collapsing, seeing your past and not weaponizing it. For that kind of love, your ego has to soften. You cannot demand to always be right. You cannot treat a partner as a mirror whose job is to reflect only your best angles. Spiritual awakening is not about feeling superior to others. It is about seeing that the same consciousness flows through all others. Swami Vivekananda once said, in many ways, that the divine lives in every being. When you begin to feel this, love becomes less about being worshipped and more about honoring the soul in front of you. The ego test asks, can you be ordinary and still know you are divine? When the answer becomes yes, you are finally safe to love and be loved without turning the relationship into a stage, the quiet turning. When you start passing these tests, not perfectly, not every time, but more and more often, your inner landscape changes. Loneliness becomes less of an enemy, more of a doorway into stillness. The past still knocks, but it no longer drags you back into old fires. Your energy feels a little cleaner. You say no more. You honor your need for rest, for meditation, for small daily rituals of healing and self-awareness. Your ego still flares up, but you can watch it like weather, not obey it like a tyrant. And somewhere in all this, a quiet confidence is born. You stop asking, will I ever find love, and start sensing I am becoming someone who can hold love without losing myself. This is inner peace, not the peace of a life without problems, but the peace of a heart rooted in consciousness. When the universe finally says yes, will your soulmate arrive the next day? Maybe, maybe not. The universe is not a vending machine. It is more like a wise engineer and a compassionate teacher, woven into one. It releases certain experiences into your life only when your system is ready to integrate them without collapse. When that person does come, and often they arrive quietly, without fireworks, in the middle of an ordinary day, you will feel something different, not just butterflies, not just anxiety dressed as passion. You will feel space, room to breathe, room to be yourself. You will notice that your meditation practice, your mindfulness, your emotional clarity, all the nights you chose stillness over self-betrayal, none of that was wasted. It was preparation. Love did not save you. Love found you because you had already begun to save yourself. So if you are in that waiting room right now, between who you were and who you are becoming, between the love that broke you and the love that has not yet arrived, breathe. You are not behind. You are not being punished. You are being tested, stretched, refined, like metal in fire, like a bridge under careful load, like a heart learning to stay open without losing its shape. Tonight, when the loneliness comes, or the past calls, or the ego screams for attention, remember this simple question. If the universe is preparing me for a deeper love, how can I cooperate with that preparation in this moment? There is no perfect answer, just one honest breath at a time. And maybe in another story, we will talk about what happens when you meet the right person at the wrong time. But for now, let this be enough. You are not waiting for love. You are becoming love, and life is simply arranging the moment when that truth can no longer be hidden.